Hi Cancer, my lunar brothers and sisters, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website addressed below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us, or us on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So this week, Moonchild, you have your own card, even though this card actually represents Pisces, but hey, right, you've got the moon as the key to the week. So big thing that you want to know this week, you may not be seeing things exactly as they are. The moon card tends to be a bit of a confusing and sometimes even a distorting energy. So you really want to pay attention to everything this week. So we're going to look at the 4 sectors as we always do. But what you need to know with the moon card is, right, Cancer already has a natural flair for reflecting on things or to looking back over the past. This could be a week where this really comes up for you, where you're really feeling that urge to go back over things or to look over things. Not surprising with so much retrograde energy in the air. But that moon card, this week you could be seeing things you could be seeing things either distorted, or for some of you the rose tinted glasses are coming off and now you're starting to see things exactly as they were rather than how you would like to remember them. All right, so let's have a look. See, in your actions and your options you have the 4 of Cups. So very pensive, very reflective this week. It does look like a lot of you are glancing over the past. Now for a lot of you, I actually feel like this relates to a specific argument or maybe a specific conversation that you've had with somebody. This could see you really going over it, and for a lot of you, my big thing that I want to say to you with this card is snap out of the funk. Right, whenever you see this card, I always say to people, if you're in a bit of a funk, this is a time for you to snap yourself out of it, because your actions and options is what you do. And the 4 of Cups, it's about what you can't see that's already on its way or is already present in your life. Now, for a lot of you, I feel like this is either a specific conversation or, I feel like it's a conversation or maybe even an argument that you've had, maybe recently or maybe even a bit more than recently. And I feel like this week it comes up for you in a big way. And I kind of feel like a lot of you are moving to that point where it's like, maybe I should apologize. My advice is probably don't, right? The chances are this person's going to come to you. There's a lot of retrograde energy. We're coming up to Mercury moving into the sign of Cancer and then is going to go retrograde in the sign of Cancer soon as well. So the time for reconciliations and stuff will come. I just don't think it's this week, because the chances are it might devolve into something worse than it was the first time round. For your communications and conversations, you have the Justice card, right? So for a lot of you, this is about looking at a certain situation and deciding, you know what, somebody actually wronged me. This is about you wanting retribution, and especially here underneath the moon card, right? This kind of says that this week you might be prone to that kind of energy. You might be sort of looking at things and maybe even this comes up, maybe a conversation comes up for a lot of you that is one that you don't seem to be able to meet any common ground on. This could be with a friend, it could be a partner, it could be a lover, it could be a colleague, it could be, anyone, right? And it kind of looks like this week you're just going to have to accept that you'll have to agree to disagree. But I feel like if you try to go over old ground this specific week, you're not going to get reconciliation. All you're going to get is more of a stalemate. And it kind of feels like, in a lot of ways, because it is the Justice card, this is something, it isn't maybe an apology that you're owed. It is maybe something that you something where you kind of feel like, actually no, you know what, I feel like I've been slighted and I'm not sure what it is that I can do to get beyond that. Well, sometimes the best thing to do is just sit back and observe, right? For your money and materials, you have the 5 of Wands. So something about the finances or the earning power or potential is coming up for review this week. It looks like you could be going off in a new direction. It looks like as well, for a select few of you, I'm sorry to say, but it does look like a challenging week when it comes to work. You may come up against competition. It looks like there might be a little bit of backstabbing or shit stirring this week. And it's really important that you don't engage in this, right? Let other people do what it is that they're doing. Let them say what it is that they've got to say. Because like I said, when Mercury goes retrograde in your sign, you're very likely then to start getting the knowledge, the information that you need. And actually that's probably going to be the time where you start to see, karma kicking in and retribution being served. But for now, just sit back and hold tight. Now, when it comes to your actual money this week, I don't know why, but I'm going to say this, right? Because your 5 of Wands can sometimes be competition. And if you have almost like a desire this week to spend on something to prove a point, try to curb that, just because at the moment you probably won't end up getting what you want and you might end up suffering a buyer's remorse. So this week, if you're doing something just to prove a point, or you're buying something or giving somebody money, just to prove a point, the chances are you could end up regretting it. So, it's really important that this week you kind of try to hang back from that energy. All right, for your materials, so home life, it does look like you're maybe getting a little bit restless at home. This is a week for you to start looking at where it is that you can find security and sanctity, where you can find those things but outside of your house, right? So find ways to connect to nature. With the 5 of Wands, go for a run. Even if you're not a runner, go for a walk, go for a long walk. And I'm not talking like a walk around the block. I'm talking, go out for a good hour, 90-minute walk, just to burn off some of that excess energy, because health-wise, I know for me, certainly, if I don't do any form of exercise, all of my energy and my thoughts go upward into my mind, and it gets pretty gnarly in there sometimes. So I need a physical outlet. It's always been like that for me. So, and then when it comes to, I think that's enough. For your love and relations is the Queen of Swords, right? So I've got a Libran person here. Very often, because it's a queen, it could be a woman, right? But you've got the Standing Stone or the Justice card with the Queen of Swords. That is a Libran person, features very heavily for you this week, whether this is in your relationship, whether it's in love. Now remember, the Queen of Swords is about what you fight for, what you go to war for. Sometimes it can be a person that is a little bit forceful, sometimes a bit cantankerous. Now this comes up in your love and relations, right? So it looks like a lot of you Cancerians are fighting for your partner or standing up for somebody else this week. It's interesting that we've got, when I see this energy and I see what's happening out in the world, I'm kind of like, okay, there's a lot of this reflecting that, because a lot of it is, right? And we're all a reflection of the environment that we live in. So a very, very interesting thing at the moment, right? For those of you that are partnered, it looks like you're fighting on behalf of your partner in some respect, like you're standing up for them. For those of you that are single, it looks like maybe somebody that you're seeing or somebody that you've just met. It could be that this week the conversation kind of devolves into a bit of a spat or an argument. What starts as banter might go a little bit too far this week. So just something to, and remember with this moon card here as well, you may not necessarily be hearing or understanding what the person is saying in the way that they mean it, and they may not be communicating clearly either. So it's interesting that we haven't got the Mercury retrograde yet, but it's kind of showing up here for you guys in a big way. When it comes to familial ties, this I would definitely say check in with your elderlies, but also check in with cousins, people that you are close to but maybe don't see necessarily every day. Not because I see anything cataclysmic here, but it just might be that they, maybe they need a sounding board for something that they're about to spout off on. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.